girl.
Oh, it's so good. No, it is not. Did he stand standing behind me? She just said she's terrible at darts.
Especially when I'm sober.
Show us your best crying face.
We thought that was just between me and Lily, but it's okay.
Are you ready?
No.
I want to ask a very serious question, even though it sounds stupid. Do you have any granny panties?
No.
I can't even look at them. You are like my biggest crush in life.
Rachael Ray was on top of the world. Queen of quick meals, a billion-dollar brand, and that voice you could recognize anywhere. But something strange happened. She didn't vanish all at once. Instead, her rise slowed, then slipped, and then something deeper took hold. Her speech started to change. Her energy fell off. Lawsuits, behind-the-scenes battles, and quiet exits started stacking up. Her daytime empire ended not with a splash, but a hush. So what really happened? Why did the woman who could do no wrong suddenly face legal chaos, crew fallout, and a mystery that fans still can't shake? We're talking about lawsuits over dog food, a cultural disaster over pozole, and a scarf that nearly blew up her brand. Add that to her shocking exit from daytime TV and a podcast filled with raw confessions. And you've got a story that's not just about fame fading. This is about health, betrayal, and a fight for control. Let's talk about Rachael Ray's latest news and what her silent shift means for everything she built. Before she was a household name, Rachael Ray was just trying to survive. She was born in New York and raised in a hard-working family that always found comfort in food. But her real challenges started early. As a kid, she battled croup over and over again. It wasn't just a sore throat. It was a viral condition that left her vocal cords permanently damaged. That's where her signature raspy voice came from. It wasn't style, it was survival. By the time she made it on TV, her voice could cut out mid-sentence. But she never tried to fix it. She embraced it, and that voice became her trademark. Still, the damage didn't stop there. In 2008, she had to undergo throat surgery to remove a cyst. Her work schedule, constant filming, interviews, recording cookbooks, was catching up. Instead of slowing down, she doubled down. She worked with a voice coach and powered through. But the cracks were showing, and things got even darker back in 1997. Living in Queens at the time, Rachael was assaulted twice in 1 week. Once at gunpoint, once dragged into an alley. The trauma was real. She called it a breaking point. She left New York and went back upstate. It was a reset. That's where her cooking journey started. Small classes, tiny stages, helping everyday people cook fast, real meals. No celebrity glamour, just healing. And that authenticity, it stuck with her. People loved her because she didn't pretend to be fancy. She didn't cover up the hard stuff. And that's how her empire started, by being real. But fame is tricky. It lifts you up and it watches you close. And the cracks that started in childhood, they never really disappeared. They just got quieter, until they didn't. Rachael Ray's real climb began in a grocery store, teaching 30-minute meals to people who didn't have time or training to cook like gourmet chefs. No fancy degree, no Michelin kitchens, just hustle, that raw. Everyday energy got her a small cooking segment on local TV. From there it exploded. The Food Network wanted her. Publishers were lining up. Her cookbooks became bestsellers. The Rachael Ray Show launched in 2006. Suddenly, she had cookware, magazines, and a brand that reached into millions of kitchens. But not everyone liked it. The culinary elite didn't respect her. Julia Child had Le Cordon Bleu. Gordon Ramsay trained with legends. But Rachael? No school, no coat. And Martha Stewart? She flat out dismissed her, said she wasn't good enough. It hit hard, but she kept going. Then came the Dunkin' Donuts scandal. In 2008, she filmed a coffee ad wearing a scarf that looked like a keffiyeh. In the Post, 9/11 World, that small detail lit a fire. Critics attacked the look, accusing it of political messaging and cultural insensitivity. It turned a simple promo into a PR disaster. And just when that fire cooled down, another one started, this time over pozole. Rachael did a segment on red pozole, a traditional Mexican stew. Her version? Totally unrecognizable. She swapped ingredients, skipped essentials, and viewers were not happy. It went viral, but not in a good way. Hispanic families spoke out. Many said the dish was so bad it felt offensive. One person even called it a hate crime. It was more than just a recipe gone wrong. It was a warning that her shortcuts were starting to miss the mark. And it didn't stop there. In 2008, she launched Nutrish, a natural pet food brand. She said she'd eat it herself to prove how healthy it was. But in 2018, a $5 million lawsuit accused the brand of containing glyphosate, a chemical used in weed killer. Not something you want in pet food. The case got tossed in 2021, but the damage was done. Nutrish wasn't pure anymore. That everyday trust she'd built, it cracked. Then came 2020. The pandemic hit. Rachel moved her show to her home. Sounds smart, right? Except over 20 crew members lost their jobs in the process. No pay for months. These weren't strangers. These were longtime camera operators, sound techs, editors, people who built the show with her. She promised health care and said she cared. But the show didn't bring them back. For many, it felt like betrayal. Fast forward to 2023. After 17 seasons and nearly 3,000 episodes, Rachel ended the show. She called it a personal turning point, but it didn't feel like a celebration. It felt like an escape. And then things got quiet. Too quiet. Videos surfaced in late 2024, and fans noticed something off. Her speech was slower. Her words slightly slurred. Her usual spark dimmed. She said nothing, just kept filming cooking videos, smiling through it. But in May 2025, it happened again. A new clip from Mother's Day showed the same changes. Still no explanation, just silence. For someone known for being open, the refusal to speak was loud. And then came the podcast. In late 2024, Rachel launched I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. It was raw, emotional, and honest. She talked about injuries, about grief, about being hated online. She shared that she doesn't even Google herself anymore. Too much cruelty, too much pain. It wasn't about cooking anymore. It was about survival. The podcast didn't drop regularly. Production was a mess. Rachel said she was pissed about the delays, but she didn't stop. At the 2025 South Beach Food Festival, she said the podcast wasn't going anywhere. It became her therapy, her way to stay present, her way to be human again. And still, questions lingered. Was she okay? Was there more going on? She never confirmed or denied anything, just kept moving forward. Then in June 2024, she dropped something new, Rachael Ray in Tuscany, a show filmed at her Italian villa. Cooking simple, soulful dishes. No audience, no crew, just quiet meals and quiet stories. It aired on FYI and felt less like a show and more like a love letter. Soft, peaceful, different. And at the same time, she launched free food studios with longtime friends. It wasn't about putting her face on everything. It was about creating space for new voices. Shows like Global Soul Kitchen and Meals in Minutes got new seasons. She spotlighted rising chefs, gave them a platform. She wasn't trying to be center stage anymore. She was becoming the mentor, the guide, the executive. She understood something most celebrities don't. Staying relevant means staying real. But underneath all this growth, something still felt off. Her energy wasn't the same. Her body language, her voice, it all felt just slightly different, like she was powering through something no one could see. And still, no answers. The lawsuits, the canceled paychecks, the pozole disaster. Every one of these moments chipped away at the empire she built. And what made it all sting wasn't the fall. It was the silence that followed. When the Nutrish brand was dragged into court, there was no long statement. Just legal filings and a dismissed case years later. But people remembered. When the crew was cut loose during COVID, the responses were vague. A few Instagram stories. A few lines about caring. But the show kept filming and the crew didn't come back. Even her public exit from daytime TV was more about what was next, not what had been lost. She didn't talk about the pain of letting go. She didn't talk about what it cost to keep showing up when the spotlight hurt more than it helped. That's the thing about Rachael Ray's Scandal Update. It isn't loud, it's quiet, it's layered. And the hardest part to watch is how often she chooses not to explain. Fans don't need perfection. They just want answers. When her speech changed in 2024, they asked. When it changed again in 2025, they asked louder, but silence. And the more she refused to speak on it, the more the questions grew. Legal trouble comes and goes, but mystery, It lingers. And here's what's wild. Even through all this, Rachael Ray's latest news keeps coming. New shows, new projects, the podcast, the villa in Tuscany. She's working, always working. But that drive, it feels different now. Like it's about staying ahead of something, not just staying visible. Her refusal to stop has always been her strength. But now it might be her shield, a way to keep people from getting too close, from seeing what she doesn't want to say. Let's get into the stuff people don't always remember. Rachael Ray didn't just start from nothing. She restarted. After trauma, after fear, after being physically and emotionally broken. That 1997 assault changed everything. And that resilience, it's baked into her brand. Her rasp isn't just her voice, it's a scar that speaks. And that dog food lawsuit, sure, it was about ingredients, but it was also about trust. She had positioned herself as someone who only shared what she'd served her own family, even her pets. When that image cracked, it hurt because it wasn't just business, it felt personal. And don't forget, she created her own studio, not be the face of everything, but to lift others. She mentored chefs like Jake Cohen and Anna Francesi-Gas. She gave them platforms. That's legacy-building work. And her podcast? It gave people a peek behind the curtain. She opened up about being hated, being worn down, and feeling silenced. That's rare in celebrity culture. Most stars script every word. She didn't. She just said what was true for her. That scar from the Dunkin' ad? It may seem like a footnote, but it taught her how fast the world can flip. One scarf, one pozole recipe, one crude dispute. Every misstep had consequences, and yet she stayed standing. That Tuscany show wasn't just a project. It was her saying, I'm still here. I'm doing this my way. Slower, softer, but still with love. And that's what makes Rachael Ray's Scandal Updates so complex. It's not about a single mistake. It's about a lifetime of pushing through. And when you look at her story, the good, the hard, the quiet parts, it's clear she's not running from her past. She's carrying it. So what do we do with Rachael Ray's latest news now? The woman who built an empire from 30-minute meals is no longer chasing the spotlight. She's building something different, something deeper. The lawsuits, the pay disputes, the questions about her health. They're all part of the same picture. A woman who refused to quit, even when it probably would have been easier to. And now, she's reshaping her story in silence, through streaming shows, through podcasts, through long walks in Tuscan vineyards instead of studio tapings. But let's be real. People still want to know what's going on. The speech, the silence, the slow transformation. It doesn't just raise curiosity, it raises concern. So what do you think? Is Rachael Ray quietly stepping away from the spotlight? Or is this just a new version of her hustle? And should celebrities have to explain everything? Or do they get to keep something for themselves? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And if you want to hear more stories like this, more raw, real celebrity deep dives, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss what's next. Because there's always more to the story.